Just want to begin by saying that proud of our team for a solid overall team performance on Saturday. All three phases I thought did a good job. None of the three were perfect, but all three showed progress in areas we've been trying to address, and encouraged by the growth and to be able to conclude our non-conference slate at 3-0 is what your goal is. And so we took care of business with that. Now we have to move forward into conference play. But we'd just like to rehash the game a little bit and be able to recognize some guys that I feel like have earned that opportunity. We have each week we recognize our scout guys, and that group continues to be critical for us. And James Miller is a young man that's come here and really works extremely hard. Had weight room coaches comment about him. The offensive coaches, he's down with the scout team. He was our defensive scout player of the week, but he's also just attitude, work ethic's been tremendous, and is going to be a really good player here. So excited for him. Offensively, on the scout team, Mike Fiacable, Johnny Paps, two guys that play quarterback for us that give us a tremendous look, take a lot of pride in doing that. It sets the whole tone for that group, and we can't get ready on defense without those guys. And then specialists on the scouts for special teams, is Andrew Stam, another guy, just a complete player in terms of on the field, off the field. Always get compliments for him and the way he handles himself, and does a great job as a linebacker for us. As far as the game goes, on the field, Peyton Ramsey was our offensive player of the game, 74% completion percentage, just continues to lead our team, runs very efficiently, offensively distributing the football, and does a great job. And our guys recognize him for that. Defensively, Raekwon Jones and Jonathan Crawford were our co-defensive players of the game, and just both of them had tackles for loss, both of them had a sack. One thing that stood out to me about our defense was we've played 33 guys in our 3 non-conference games on defense, and I think we had 26 guys had tackles on Saturday, different ones. So just a whole bunch of guys involved, and that was the goal from the beginning. Had 7 tackles for loss on Saturday, and 5 different guys got those. We had 3 sacks, 3 different guys got those, and that's how we want to play defensively as a team. And then on special teams, Ja'Shawn Harris and Hayden Whitehead were the players of the game for us. Ja'Shawn was also the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week for an 85-yard kickoff or punt return, and just continue to be impressed by him and so happy for him and proud of him and all that he's accomplished. And then Hayden continues to do a great job putting the football and creating field position. I mean, he haven't used him as much, and that's a good thing, but when called upon. I also saw Jared Smolar did a great job on kickoffs and being able to, with good hang time and distance, and just thought our specialists overall performed well, and Logan did a good job hitting his extra points. So, and 1 field goal. As a team, I think that with Stevie Scott, he's the Big Ten Freshman of the Week again, this time by himself, and continues to play well. Has to learn to hold on to the football, but has done a good job except for that one time. But he will continue to work hard, and offensive line played well, and receivers caught some big balls. And just thought it was a total team win for us that you have to have in those situations. Had a lot of respect for Ball State and what they had done earlier this season, and at Notre Dame especially. And so really felt like our guys needed to be focused and ready to compete, and they were. A little bit of a lull there in the third quarter maybe, but fought through that, and our guys were able to finish well. So proud of our team, but as I said before, we have to learn from the things that we've done well as those mistakes, and take that into conference play now and continue to improve. Ronnie Walker is a guy who sticks out to me when I think about our freshman. Got a chance to play, scored his first touchdown, showed a burst, showed some balance and explosion that we know he has, and his confidence continues to rise each and every week since he's been here, and he's an awesome young man and does everything right on and off the field. He's an excellent student. So really proud of Ronnie. And then James Head, another guy that got really his first chance to really play. Had a few snaps earlier in Virginia, but this was his real chance, and showed some real burst that we saw. And he'd had an injury that kept him out the first week, but James is back now and got his feet wet a little bit, so he's got to continue. And I also thought that Jameris Bowen's a guy up front that really played well defensively, and got to have those guys continue to grow and develop. And guys like Damian Willis flashed and did some really good things. So a lot of different guys involved, and the safety position, I felt like Bryant Fitzgerald and Juwan Burgess really started to flash and make plays and play with more confidence and more physicality. And so that needs to grow each and every week. Offensively, didn't give up any sacks either, and rushed for 255, and just a complete all-around performance. Got a chance to pull the starters there early in the fourth and get a chance to allow these guys to play, which helps develop your team and help those guys be rewarded for all their hard work as well. So encouraged by that, but ready to move forward and focus on Michigan State. Coach D'Antonio, one of the coaches in this country that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I think he does a great job there and with his team. And they had a bye week last week, so we'll only have 2 games to look at for this season. But they have pretty much, when I watch the film, it's the same team we played last year. They were one of the youngest teams in the country and in the Big Ten last year, and so pretty much all the same guys that we played last year are back, and bigger, faster, stronger, and they're a year older. And so they, coming into this season, were projected to be one of the best teams in our conference, and that's what they are. So we're going to have to continue to elevate our preparation and our focus as we are excited to welcome them to Memorial Stadium to play at 7:30 kickoff, and really excited about having a great crowd and having a great support. I thought our crowd on Saturday was really good, beautiful weather, and just appreciate our fans supporting us and being here for us and cheering loud and helping us be successful on game day. And so we want to always be appreciative of that. So excited about the week and excited about Big Ten conference play beginning. So we got to get ready. Questions?
Just quick injury update. I don't think I saw Gavin Everett play Saturday, and Mackenzie Noir I don't think is dressed first few weeks. Any
yeah,
updates
Mackenzie's a guy, we're hoping to get him back. He's getting better and better all the time. He should be back soon. I don't know how soon that is, but it's hopefully next week or two. But he's progressing very well. Gavin's the guy that could have gone had we needed him. It was kind of a game-time decision. Wasn't really sure. But then as the game unfolded, we felt like it's best to keep him rested. And so he should be ready to roll for this week, hopefully, and if he continues to progress. And Mackenzie will not be playing this week again, but hopefully he'll be ready to go very soon.
Coach, you mentioned Stevie Scott and ball security and that. Is that rule still in place that if you put the ball on the ground, you don't play the next series? I know that he didn't play the next series. I don't know if that was a steadfast rule.
Yeah, we're going to, if you make that kind of mistake, we're going to pull you out. The length of that's going to be up to, we don't have a hard and fast rule where you don't go back in the game at all. I know some staffs do that. But in practice, as soon as you do that, you have to start running until the coach tells you to stop. And so, obviously he didn't do it at all the previous week under really, really bad conditions, and then beautiful sunny day and no inclement weather, and he puts it on the ground before he has a chance to score. So, but we got to learn from that. But yeah, we just basically, if you put the ball on the ground, we're going to take you out and let you think about it a little bit, because that ball is precious, and we want to keep it on offense and take it away from you on defense.
You mentioned Ronnie Walker. Obviously, Stevie's had the numbers he's had. Ronnie had a good game Saturday. It's a little bit of a loaded question, but if push comes to shove, are you comfortable with a rotation where you've got 2 freshmen, true freshmen, playing prominent roles in the backfield? Because I know you've said you don't want it all to have to be on Stevie over the course of the season.
Yeah, you would like to spread it out. Yeah, there are 2 different types of backs, in terms of skill set and size and what they bring to the table. So we definitely have had the objective of trying to bring Ronnie along, and to get him ready. And so I was really glad to be able to see him out there and do some good things. And he, it's always it's amazing how our coaches do a great job. And then when a guy kind of has a feel for a guy being closer and closer to being ready, we've kind of been saying that about Ronnie for the last couple of weeks, and his growth throughout fall camp, and just kind of seeing him really kind of figure some things out. So I think I expected to get him in there and hoped we could, and glad it worked out. So we'd like to be able to get as many guys. I mean, we learned last year you can never have enough running backs. They always seem to get they get hit a lot for sure, and that's part of the position. So the many we can have, the better. And Mike will continue to be a part of it, and all the other guys in that group. So, but yeah, I'd love to see Ronnie continue to grow and develop and share that load with the whole group of guys, so they can't key on any one of them.
Yeah, following up on the injury question, you lost Cole early, but I know one of the goals with the new strength and conditioning guys was to see if they could help limit soft tissue injuries and whatnot. Overall, you guys have seemed pretty healthy. Is this as healthy as you've been going into Big Ten season since you've been here? Absolutely, and I've not been here very long, but in the few years I have been here, this is the healthiest we've been going in. Once we get, past, last year we started
the opening game was against Ohio State, but most years you don't play your first game against a conference opponent. So, but I do think it's a variable. I know injuries are always that, age-old question of how do you prevent them, and nobody wants them, and they're always going to be there in some form or fashion. So, but we've definitely focused on doing things in our preparation that would limit soft tissue injuries, and even purchase different mechanisms for that. And the guys have bought into it, and it's even part of their diet as well. Some things that we try to emphasize, and their hydration. And so those all go into that part of your body, So, but injuries can't be prevented completely, but there's no question that we are currently experiencing, less than we had a year ago, and that's a good thing. It really hurts us and hurt us last year, but we got to continue to have. And today was a big lifting day for us, and we've changed our entire schedule of the week. We changed the day we have off. We changed the day we lift. We changed this. We changed a lot of things under the direction of an advice that I followed from Dr. Ray and Coach Ballou and all their studies. And so the objective is that we are at peak performance at kickoff each week, and then also peak performance week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12, and the bowl game. So that's the objective, that's the goal, and that's what we're trying to get to. So so far, we've seen definitely some positive results of that.
With WAP, has he been a guy who's been as involved as you'd like to see so far, or is there still maybe some things you'd like to see him get involved with moving forward?
I think he'll continue, and it's just we do have, and it's a good challenge to have. We have more playmakers on offense than we had, I feel, a year ago, and so there'll be, I think, different games and different guys will be, based on how they're playing us, and sometimes you don't even know that till the game starts, and you can scheme a certain way, and there'll be games when he'll get a whole bunch of catches, but he's going to touch the ball now, and we got different guys that we can get the ball to, and he's extremely explosive, and you saw when he got the ball in his hand Saturday, what he can do with it. So I just think that each week it varies, and that'll be something that whatever we're going to take what they're giving us, and that may be run game wise, pass game wise, and I believe we have the scheme and the personnel to take advantage of it.
You mentioned that this is kind of the similar team to what you saw last year. Just in the 2 years that you've been here, obviously you beat them at home 2 years ago, and then last year played them down to the wire. I mean, what's kind of the mindset going into a game against a team that, to a degree, you've had a lot of success against at least the last 2 years?
Well, we didn't finish last season, and it was 9-3, in the fourth quarter, and had opportunities to hopefully score touchdowns in the red zone. And to their credit, defensively, that didn't happen for us, and they were really good on defense, and they're really good again this year. They haven't given up hardly any rushing yards at all, and very stingy down in the red zone. And so Coach D'Antonio always has a great defense, and big, strong guys that are very well coached. And so, the expectation is that we got to score touchdowns when we get down there, and you don't beat a team like this kicking field goals. And so that's the objective there, the expectation, and we got to play great defense. I mean, we're still developing and growing, and they got big old backs, big receivers, really good quarterback, big old offensive line, and I mean they're a bona fide, legit Big Ten football team that's contending for the Big Ten championship. So we're going to have to play our best game of the season, have our best week of preparation, and execute at the highest level in all three phases.
Just to follow up on that, offensively, their quarterback is completing almost 70%. Lewerke, what makes him such a threat to you guys? Yeah,
well, I tell you what, that's what makes it hard, because he's an accurate passer. They got big receivers that can be matchup problems. He's athletic enough to beat you with his legs. He's tough enough to run over you. That's kind of always a big challenge with a big quarterback like that, because the rules are so such to protect him, and then he comes barreling at you and then just runs you over, instead of sliding sometimes. So I think that he's a tough old guy that loves to play the game. He's kind of my kind of guy playing quarterback, to be honest with you. So I have a lot of respect for him and how hard he plays and how tough he plays, and so that's I think for them, when he really started figuring things out and playing really well last year, that's when they took off. And so that's how it is. That position really. It's about leadership and production, and he's really good at doing both. And you can just tell, they believe in him, and I think that's kind of the difference. When the year that we were able to, my first year here when we beat them in overtime, I don't think they had the kind of quarterback play that they probably were looking for, and it was early in the season, just like it is now. But but they didn't have that established guy there, that they were trying to figure that out. So I think that they have that now, and they've gotten established. O.J. Scott's a tremendously talented running back with the big old load and has got great feet and good speed. So, they're really a complete team. They don't have a weakness. They're very, very solid in all phases, special teams included, and their defense is maybe the strength of their team. So, just really, when you watch them, there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, their scheme always varies, and they'll have wrinkles and things that they're trying to give to us. But, it's just a typical, Michigan State, Coach D'Antonio team that's just big, physical, fundamental, and tough. So that's what they're going to be.
Coach, two questions. One is, I think you've played 12 true freshmen to this point, and we're getting close to that 4-game thing. And I'm wondering if you have a good feel for maybe how many of those 12 guys will go beyond 4 games. And then the other question is just the weekly Morgan Ellison update.
Yeah, the first part of your question, basically of those 12 guys, I'd say probably 8 of them are probably going to just keep on playing, and there's probably 3 or 4 in there that kind of based on, some of those guys have played, certain amount of games already. If a guy's played 3, then, more than likely if we played him that much at this point, he's probably going to continue to play. And so, but the guys that played maybe 1 or 2 at this point, we're continuing to look at. Now that you get into conference play, you say, okay, who's going to really be the guys that you want to just invest in for a whole season worth of their experience. And so I feel pretty comfortable saying 7 or 8 of those guys are probably going to just keep on rolling. And then there's another quarter of them there that are going to be, there's 3 or 4 that we'll see what we do with them moving forward. And there's some guys that we've kind of already said, hey, you know what, we're probably going to be redshirting those guys, but that could change. And then when we say we're going to redshirt them, there's still going to be opportunities. We got several guys right now that haven't even played yet in any games that I think before the season's over will play. Because you got those 4 games you can use, and could be just on the special team. That's the beauty of the rule, is that you could take a guy just for special teams, week 8, 9, or 10, or whatever, and get him on there to give us depth and some. If a guy gets injured and we're trying to rest a certain position guy that's playing a lot on offense or defense, to be able to get him on the field. And that's where really I think you're going to see the true benefit of the rule. Is to be able to maximize those guys late in the season. They may not have been ready in the beginning to help you, but they will be, and they might even be, playing on offense and defense for certain snaps just because of that reason, and still be able to keep the red shirt. So that to me is will be kind of play itself out here next several weeks, and then no real update with Morgan in regards to him playing yet. So we'll be continue to, and when we know something, we'll let everybody know. Nothing's changed with that.
A turnover, 3 sacks on Saturday. Where is your defense in terms of maybe creating the big time plays that you want, the game changing, momentum changing plays?
Getting closer, 7 tackles for loss is good. I like to get 8. It's kind of my goal for a game, 8+, and 3 sacks is our goal. 3 takeaways is our goal. We didn't get that, and that's disappointing. We had 1 chance. We dropped a pick. I thought was a very makeable catch, one of those is kind of right there, and we had the quarterback secure. I thought it could have been a pick 6. There was green grass ahead of him, and he's fast, and so we can't drop those really, really. I don't even like. Sometimes you drop the ball and you're like, I'm mad. Those are missed opportunities. Those really make me, ticks me off when we drop those, and so we got it. We created a drill in today's practice because it's happened a couple times in practice where the balls have kind of been almost. They're not even coming at you fast. They're tipped up in the air, and they're kind of there just to be able to hand-eye coordination, focus, concentration drills to help the back. And the backers always seem to be the ones that have been involved in that. So just got to get that ball out. So, but I think we're getting, as you continue to be in the better position, you're closer to the football. You're more confident. You're playing faster. That creates takeaways. It creates you the opportunity to get those takeaways when the ball's on the ground or when the ball's tipped or when the ball's thrown. You're closer to the ball because you're more confident in your reads and your fits and all that. So I expect that to continue. We know it's a big part of creating momentum in games, field position, all those things help set up your offense. So, but we're getting there. I just think that we have to create a lot of things pressure-wise, which is what we do. We've done that ever since I've been here, and so we got to continue to do that. And I thought as the game kind of unfolded, we're not doing a great job on first downs early in the half, and then by the second half we started doing a better job getting some third and longs, and then we could do some things we want to be able to do, whether it's bring pressure or, act like we're bringing pressure and then covering. And so just being able to do that helped, and that created some of those sacks. We felt like we left a couple sacks out there where, matter of fact, I know for a fact I called one pressure, and the guy that was set up to make the play and would have, based on how that play unfolded, didn't blitz, and so that's frustrating. And then feel like another D end was able to be, had he executed the call correctly, would have been right there for an additional sack. So those are, that sometimes happens, but at the same time, we got to continue. We can't miss on those. Those are big plays that change games, and so it's just a matter, to me, it's just continue to grow and develop our defense, develop our depth, develop our offense, and allow us to finish the way we want to finish.
Tom, how much of a concern with Michigan State having changed a lot of personnel in the first couple of games due to injuries or those kinds of things, and then a bye week in addition to that, how much of a concern is it that in your preparation for Michigan State that you're going to have to make a lot of adjustments?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the reality. I'm sure they're like everybody else. We're not going to just advertise exactly who's going to be there or not be there. We don't know who's back or not or whatever. I just the way I approach it is you basically you got to be great in-game coaches. Early in the year, a lot of question marks. They only played 2 games by already having their bye week, so we don't have a big body of work to study on. Obviously, we have previous seasons, and all of their coaching staff's been pretty consistent on that side of the ball. So I think it definitely puts you at a disadvantage in some ways. But you have to adjust on the run, and you basically build your plan up based on what you know. And that's what I try to do, build on what you know and adjust on what happens that you may not know. And so you don't want to chase a bunch of ghosts on what may or may not possibly happen. And the personnel part of it, they'll announce certain things and then who's in and who's out. But to me, they're going to have whoever they have in that spot's going to be ready to play. And they'll do a great job. So, there definitely is going to be some unknowns for sure.
You talk about freshmen playing on special teams. Talk about Jamar Johnson on that punt return by Jason.
Yeah, I tell you, Jamar Johnson is one of the best athletes on our team. I've said it already. He can play all 5 defensive positions. When I say all 5, he could be a corner, either side of the corner. He could be, a free safety. He could play rover. He could play husky. And there's not many guys on our team I could say that about. And so that just shows you the potential we believe that he has. He's a very tough kid. He loves to hit, loves to play the game. And so, matter of fact, we just said even a week ago, I want to get this guy involved on more special teams because he's too good of a football player to not be. And so we're going to even start training him for some third down opportunities defensively and just to master a certain area of one position on that side of the ball at this point. So, but yeah, I just think it's his effort, it's toughness, it's want to. And even that we didn't even have a return set up. We were going for a block on the punt return for a touchdown. And so what happened after we go for the block, it does create some space within, naturally because they got to, protect first and then cover. And so, but then it just took flat out effort for guys to get in position because then from there, Jason was just being Jason. He just started, seeing the crease and taking it. And so then our guys just got in position and we coach them to what to do after they, go for a block and don't get it. And then we peel back and so, bought into that and guys were getting heads across. And you always worry about blocks in the back and you see those a lot on, even at the NFL level. It's like every time there's a punt return, it seems like there's always a block in the back in the NFL. So we have to coach really hard for that and eliminate those mistakes. But fortunately, no one did that. But just looking for guys to legally hit, in the front and do it within the rules and the way they're structured now. So just Jamar is just a really good football player that I think's got a really bright future here.
Forgive kind of an open-ended question, but where do you feel like this team needs to go next? You've completed a perfect non-conference season. You talked about feeling like there was progress in all three phases last weekend. Where does this team need to go next in your mind? Where does it need to grow next, I guess?
Win Big Ten games, period. That's what's next. We got to win Big Ten games, and one at a time. That's what we approach it. I told our team today, and they understand how I think. And this is the biggest game of the season. It's the most important game of the season for one reason. It's the next one. And we're going to be absolutely focused on Michigan State and everything we have to do to win this game. And so to me, that's the next step. And you take them one at a time, and all you do is focus on that next opponent. And we're trying to train a team to think that way and allow them to play their very, very best. And we know we play in a great league with a lot of great teams. And this is a great opportunity for us to take a next step in our season, which is to be 1-0 at the end of the week.